Good morning, guys. We are finishing up getting the boat ready to be moved into the painter's tent, and it sounds like the truck is pulling up right now to move us. So let's take a look. There she is. So it's pretty cool how this trailer behind me works. It's like a giant fork that basically slides in between the stands. First thing they do is basically put stands up farther away so they can slide the fork in, and then like a big hydraulic trailer that just picks up the boat and moves it. It's awesome. As you can see, they're getting the stands out of the way so that these forks can slide right on in there and pick up the boat. Big old magic trick. So Randy over here, not this Randy, the yard manager, the truck driver that's moving our boat right now, is doing an awesome job. He's like a one-man army this morning. It's pretty crazy. So they do an awesome job here. So we're pretty happy with everything here at J&R. Alrighty guys, so now we are under the tent and we can now get to work removing everything else that we haven't gotten removed yet.
Jordan was tying up a ladder for us, and while he was doing that, I went ahead and emptied out the bottom of this lazarette so that we can easily get in there and access this first portion of the stern rail. I did one bolt because I was getting very impatient, but then I realized we forgot the camera in the truck.
Yep, so then I went and got the camera. But the stern rail's coming off.
Alright, so this is the lazarette, all nice and emptied out at the bottom. Plenty of room so that we can squeeze in there and get to the bolts for the stern rail. Can you just hold that?
We're learning how to, get access to different various things. This is how you get access to this down here.
I don't know if that board is actually going to work out for you.
It actually does.
It does?
Alright.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt my back to lay on this sharp fiberglass piece anymore. This is perfect. Hand me the...
Here's the tool.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, I got perfect access to it. So
Alright,
let's
which
do
one?
Forward, starboard.
Alrighty, that's the one I happen to be on.
So literally every stanchion, the bow pulpit, and every fitting on the stern rail except for this one right here were through bolted with these. However, access was kind of limited right there, so I don't know if it was the manufacturer or what, but they ended up using these instead. So they're not through bolted, they're just screwed in. So we got the last two coming out now. I'm gonna be cutting open a small inspection hole in the foredeck because we've noticed our foredeck's a little bit soft. And we sounded it a little bit and it looks like might be delaminating. So we're just gonna do basically like a 4" by 4" or 6" by 6" square and peel the top skin back and take a look at the core and get a good idea of, whether it's rotted or delaminating and everything like that. So since we're gonna be painting anyway, we're not too worried about it. We've got fiberglass on order, so we can always patch it back up. Let's see what we find. I have my little Dremel blade set to 1/4 inch, and we're gonna see if that's enough to take off, some skin here. So this is definitely plywood, but to be honest, it doesn't feel wet or anything. So I don't know why the deck flexes so much up here. The only thing I can think is maybe do another inspection hole over here. I honestly thought we were gonna need to do some recoring. So this area we feel like is a little bad as well. So I'm gonna do a smaller inspection hole right here. Let's see. Try.
So why does it flex?
I can't tell you. But that's really good news. Now we're gonna check the cabin top. And if that's dry as well, we're just gonna re-glass these down and paint. The way we want to replace the headliner, we're going to end up installing like 1 inch by 1 inch almost reinforcements underneath the coach roof, and I think that'll stiffen it up even just from the underside. So I think that'll be fine. And then we can also reinforce this as well on the underside. But I don't see a reason to re-core. That core is bone dry. Jump. Yeah, the really bad flexible spots are right here and right here. Randy weighs about 140. 148. And she was jumping up and down on these areas, and you saw it flex probably about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch from down below. You can see it very clearly. This is the area that I feel like flexes the absolute most out of anywhere that Randy's jumped. So let's see what happens.
So much dust.
Dry.
That's wet.
That's a little wet, actually. If I work it like this, I think I can pull it up. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. So just for comparison, now this feels...
It really doesn't feel wet.
I mean, it feels like it's very, very, very slightly wet. Very, very slightly damp. The fact that this is this hard to pull up, in my opinion, is a good sign. That's pretty hard. Like, if it were rotted, it would like really, really disintegrate.
A lot of tearing up, a lot of destruction right there.
For peace of mind, I want to do one on each side deck. Small one like that. Good.
Yay!
Good. Dry.
Yay!
All right. So we only have one questionable area. Every other spot we drilled up or we took up is going to be
Fine.
It's dry. It's going to be fine. This spot is questionable because it's darker in color. Doesn't feel wet, really. Like maybe if anything, it feels like it's very, very, very slightly damp. But my hand's also sweaty, so I don't know. So you know, we'll see. I think probably to be safe, we might just pull the core out here and put new plywood down. Even if we end up taking up even more than that, an area that's like this big is not going to be hard to glass. Pretty much got everything off of our deck. We've just got little things now to take up, but you know, we're going to start basically really, really prepping for paint now, doing some sanding on the little spots, and obviously fixing the inspection places, the inspection squares we took up. But yeah, we should, I think in about a week, we're gonna start putting paint on this deck. On the bow, everything that's on the deck is now off. Stern, we got the cleats off and a couple more little things. Still need to get that out. And whatever the heck that was, is gone. So we need to repair that as well. I'm still undecided as to whether I want to pull the chain plates now or paint around them. I don't know. We'll see. It just looks like the bolts are super crusty and it's going to be a big job, and I don't want to delay painting this boat anymore. So we'll see. I might try one and see if it's easy. If I can do that, then we'll do the rest. So right here is one of the chain plates. This is actually the aft lower on the starboard side. But as you can see, the bolts are pretty crusty. But the actual chain plate looks pretty good. So, not too worried about that. I kind of just want to replace the bolts. But I still want to pull the chain plate and make sure that it's not corroded in between where you can't see it, where it goes through the deck. So, I just don't know if I want to do that today or if we want to wait till after we paint. But let's see if we can put a bolt on here and start turning this and see if it's easy. Because if it's easy, then we'll pull them. So this is what the chain plate on the Endeavor 32
Dude.
looks like. What?
I literally touched that bolt with my finger and it fell off, like disintegrated. All right, I went to unscrew or take off this bolt, and I literally just bumped this with my finger, and if you see this, it just disintegrated when I touched it. Do you see that bolt from there?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because this one's cracked, I think it'll honestly probably do like the same. I mean, it looks
bolts are crusty.
Like, do you see that?
Yeah.
Like the other one, I literally just bumped it with my finger on accident, but that bolt just disintegrated.
Super crusty. So we're probably gonna replace the bolts, but
Needless
no,
to say.
we're definitely gonna replace the
Yeah.
bolts. But the chain plates I think are gonna be pretty good, but we're still gonna pull them all right now, I think. Sound good?
Yeah.
Number 2. Looks pretty good. Just an example of what I had to do just to get access to the chain plate that was in the head. So I had to tear all this paneling, all this rotten plywood out, and it's all sitting right there. But we're replacing it all. And there's the chain plate we're removing. Hidden behind everything. So we keep thinking we're like basically done removing stuff from the deck, and then we're like, oh, we gotta remove that. And then we find something else, and we're like, oh, we gotta remove that. So it's just, you know, you don't realize exactly how much stuff is actually in your deck until you just try to go and remove it all. But I do think we're probably about 95% of the way there now. We're just currently working in the cockpit. We just removed the locker lids, the lazarette lids, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, take a look. Randy's working right there. And get all the lids off. Gotta get these hardware hinges off. Hinges down here. The steering pedal still will stay. We're gonna paint around the base of it, and then this hardware we're gonna keep there for now, and then this is gonna stay as well. Got all the chain plates out as well, as you can see on both sides. The deck is looking quite bare. After we're done removing everything, we're just gonna go back and basically hand sand or use like a tiny little finish sander to go over the places that all the hardware was, and then we'll start fiberglassing. So start fiberglassing over the holes that we don't need, start fiberglassing over places like that right there, and really getting the deck ready for paint. So I think we'll be ready in about a week. And then I think it's gonna take about a week to paint the deck. So hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll have a new deck.
I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it